There we go. Cool. That was an amazing slurping sound. So, hi everyone. Welcome to GM the DM, where I am your DM. Today is the second session 0 with. This is going to be interesting because I actually haven't gotten to play with one of the players, and I've played a little bit with one of the other ones. So this is going to be a learning experience. I've got Sib, who you've played 2 different characters around me in the other games.
2? Oh wait, yeah, the Commoners game.
Oh, 3 then, because you had Talon twice then.
Talon, what?
Oh no, wait, who the fuck plays Talon? Either which, I'm so fucking confused.
Ginger Hill plays Talon.
That's right,
I play Z.
Yeah, that's right, you play Z. I knew it was a barbarian, okay? I knew it was a barbarian.
Oh, there's like 4 of us.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. You could have mixed him up with Psycho.
Yeah, that's true. No. And I haven't played with Dolan at all, so this is our real first crash interaction. So it's gonna
Be gentle with me.
only if you say please. Oh, excuse me. So we're gonna start this off. I have notes. We're gonna see. Hopefully, I don't run this 5 hours long. Somebody rein me in. I think it ran 5 hours because whatever. So we are starting. Once I switch my notes around. Yep. So I will switch my players over to the correct map. We've got sound.
All right.
There we go. Cool. So introductions. And you're going to hear this one more time. Actually, you're going to hear this 2 more times for the third session 0 and for the official start of the campaign. So, welcome to Lockmore, a seaside city that is known for its diversity, home to many who were discarded, run off, and otherwise unwanted, a haven for those who needed to get away and start anew. Despite its slummy roots, it has grown into a thriving city filled with merchants, politicians, and those who would call themselves nobles. With the growing influx of coin, more and more looking for a break have come to the shimmering gem by the water. The Adventurers Guild have been posting bills left and right for all sorts of manner of work. For you two, you've been in the city for a while, and have found your home to a point, working out of the medic's office, which is actually right by the docks. You've been about the city for a while, you kind of know everyone. Today's a little different, to a point. Alongside of the medic's office in the hospital, you tend to work alongside Emmin, the owner of Morning Singers. He's the city's herbalist and alchemist. The thing is that Emmin's isn't exactly himself. His usual all work and no play mode. He's grown really focused in the past week. His lights are on much later, spending more hours into the late night, brewing and cooking all sorts of potions and pouches. You've run errands for him before, but this time he seems greatly annoyed and distracted, which is something you're really not used to, and definitely not usual for him. And he sends summons for you, and it's easy enough to find you inside the medic's office. Usually it's just one of the runners between the 2 buildings. They go and they summon you, and you walk into the usual building through the front door. And you see him standing there, and he looks over to you two. He goes, "Good, you're here. I need a couple of items to finish this potion." And he kind of works his hands in a circle. The word potion doesn't sound right coming out off of his tongue, but it seems to be the best word for what he's working on. The problem is the boat that's supposed to be coming in has been delayed, and I need you to run and pick up the remaining things. He goes and hands over a list. Very short. And he drops the small coin purse into one of your hands. He doesn't really say anything else. He just kind of leaves you to stand there and goes straight back to work. If you two wish to introduce who you're playing, and then we'll get started with this antic-filled night.
After you, Sib.
I'll be playing Ral, a warlock with a strange little familiar that seems to be acting like it's his teacher more than more than like a sidekick-ish thing or pet. Not entirely sure what else to add at the moment.
If you wanted to physically describe.
Oh yeah, no, that would help. At the moment, he's a elf with pale hair, kind of that not dark, but silverish blue skin of silver elves. Dressed with a cloak, fair number of pouches on his belt, along with a couple books. His familiar is named Vellum. It appears as this little kind of solidified shadow thing with a drawn-on face and a small, half-ringed cloak, kind of outlining its figure.
For some reason, I just imagined the Ditto face. That's all I can now. That is now what's in my head.
But Dittos are nice.
Yeah, usually. If you want to go ahead, Gullet.
Yeah, no, I'll be playing Ambition. I'm a very short 5'5" male tiefling, inky blue skin, short horns, 4, 2 in the front, 2 off to the side. Currently wearing his traveler's clothes. He wouldn't be in full gear right now, so tunic and kilt and tall boots. Slicked back, black hair, pastel purple eyes, and bags for days under them. He's so tired, so tired, and he carries himself as such, almost hunched over. He's packed on with a bit of muscle, but he looks fairly frail all the same, the way he carries himself. And I'm going to be bold and say it's Ambition who reaches out for the gold from bad habits from his past and tucks that away.
And who'll take the list?
No, I'll take both. If I'm reaching out for one, I'll reach out for the other.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, like I said, Emmin hands it over. Doesn't really say the word. He just leaves you to, to go do what he's asking you to do.
Right. One thing,
yes.
Actually. I'm familiar with some of these. I'm not entirely sure what a white rod is.
Okay, cool.
And Ambition asks that in character.
Emmin would give you a look, and he's like... He kind of looks at you like he's almost dumbfounded. He's like, it's from a flower. And he kind of like rolls his eyes, which you've been probably working for him for some time. He's a bit more emotional, and you've never seen this grown elf roll his eyes before. And he kind of just, he's like, one of you, actually, shit. That's what I didn't pull up. I didn't pull up character sheets. Fuck.
Hey.
That's why we don't leave open trunk call-outs. So, anyway. White Rod. Both of you give me a nature check? Yeah, we'll go nature. Okay, so, Raul, you've heard of White Rod. You know it does come from a flower. Specifically, it is the center stalk of a flower. The flower is a bit hard to find. It's usually only found in 2 places. But you're pretty sure, and this is something I do remember, with Emmin's kind of leaving you hanging with the information, you would know that either the other people from the other Herbalist Guild building or the little librarian guy, Alex, over at the 1 and 2, would be able to give you more information. But you generally know that it does come from a flower.
We can go check over at the 1 and 2 and see if they have anything on it.
I'm
See
gonna
if they
need
have any in
something.
stock.
So, yeah, that sounds like a plan. Right, you take care, Emmin. Mission turns tails and very confusedly walks out the door.
He gives you a nod, and just leaves it at that. So looking at the map, coming out of 2, which is on the left side of the main markets, that's Morning Zingers. The 1 and 2 is kind of tucked into the kind of a corner of the inn. It's labeled number 5. Looking at the 1 and 2, and I love reading descriptions of the buildings because like it makes me so happy. And I did read it last time, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Once I get down to it. Crap, why did I write so much? Nope, not the jewelers. We want 1 and 2. So you've probably been to the 1 and 2 before? On either side, because the one side is the enchanter of the city, and he's got tons and tons of books, which may pique the curiosity of a certain elf. The 2 side is the magical enchanted items. You may have picked up an item in the past, or you could have just done a lot of window shopping. But I'm going to read what the 1 and 2 looks like, because I like reading this stuff. So, across the face of the 2 conjoined buildings is the motif of fire and ice, the name of the 1 and 2 scrolled in red and blue on dark stained wood. Entering the left door leads to a library-like room, shelves and books and scrolls lining every inch of the tall walls. The smell of salt and wood hangs in the air, and it seems to buzz softly. The only spot on the walls that isn't covered in shelves is an elevated desk, the small set of stairs leading up to it. From the entrance, it's hard to see whoever's up there working, but a few moments pass before they realize that they have company. Hang on! The shrieky voice calls down with a small thump, and the small man hops out of his chairs and makes his way down the stairs. This time, actually tumbling the last couple of steps, landing softly on his butt, the book in his hands falling. He kind of shakes his head and straightens up, and he's like, okay, hang on. And he picks up the book again, and he shoves it off into a shelf. And, he's standing before you as a younger halfling. He's not quite a kid, but he's not quite adult. He's in that awkward teenage stage. He stands just about 3 feet tall. He's wearing this very simple green robe, his bare toe sticking out from underneath the edge of the material. Around his neck hangs this small pendant, a silver triangle, pointed downwards, the image of a swirling mist covering the front. Staring at it, you swear it almost moves. His yellow eyes bounce back and forth between the 2 of you, his dirty blonde hair falling in his eyes. And he probably does recognize at least one of you, because you do work with Emmin. He's like, hi! Hi, what can I do for you guys?
Oh, right. Well, the flower. Yeah, the flower.
Do you have any white rod?
White rod. He kind of looks at you too, like you just stole the last cookie. And he's like, no, I don't deal with any of that. And he kind of rubs his hands together and kind of pads off to one of the shelves, and he climbs this ladder that you didn't notice because it just kind of blends in with everything. Hello, kitty. And climbing up it, he finds a book, and it's a bit smaller, a little almost looks like a little pocketbook. And he pulls it out and he kind of slides down. He goes, a white rod. It comes from a flower called the lich lily. And hearing that name, Raul, it kind of clicks. She's like, oh yeah, that. And he's like, but it's kind of hard to come by. You can find it by rivers, but, it's, or graveyards. And he kind of gives you this, like, what the hell?
Oh, in this moment of realization, does Ambition now have an idea of the flower?
And he kind of flips through the book, and he kind of presses the spine. The book looks a little bit newer, and he kind of, works the spine to show it. And, oops, where's my notes? God damn it. It's a black and white speckled flower. And, it says, where it's found by rivers. And as I say, it is sometimes found on graves, but it's not really sure why it would go from a moist environment to something that's very, landlocked. And he shows you guys, and he turns it back and he goes, you can, if you peel off the skin, the center stalk, that's the white rod. And he shows you the book again, and you can see that the skin of the stalk is black, and there's diagrams of how to peel it off and whatnot. It's, having dealt with plants in the past, it's an easy procedure. It's just more finding it. So he kind of looks at you two, trying to gauge why somebody would be asking about white rod, but it's not everyday type thing.
He's pretty obvious in his questionable looks, yeah?
Yeah, like he's either looking for another question or looking for... He's curious as to what's going on.
Vision will step over. Right, you look uncomfortable, I guess. Is there something weird about us asking after White Rod?
He kind of tilts his head and his hand kind of fidgets with his pendant. And he goes, well, it's really only used, for, rituals and prayers. But, I don't really know anyone who would ever ask for it.
Huh.
Well, maybe Emmin got a contract with the church? Or priest?
Entirely possible.
He hears the name Emmins, and he goes, oh, Emmins wants it! Yeah! Okay, you know what? That makes a lot more sense. And he kind of looks like he feels almost embarrassed. That should have been the person I thought would have asked for it. He goes,
no.
Yeah, Emmins asks for some weird stuff, but he's usually the one who asks for it. But like I said, rivers or graveyards. And he kind of gives it this kind of face.
Yeah, thanks again. We'll get right on it.
Can I borrow the diagram a minute?
He the book from him?
Yeah, his book with the diagram. And I was going to fill out his own book in ink.
Oh yeah, he's happy to share. If you're pulling out a journal to draw and write this stuff, he is right there. He's he's your personal book stand right now. And as you're writing, he kind of shuffles back and forth. Really thinking about it, there's only really one graveyard in the city. And most of them are outside. He kind of seems defeated. I really don't know which way would be the best to go to find it.
Do we know where the graveyard is just as common knowledge, or?
Are you asking that DM, or are you asking that in character?
DM.
DM. You've kind of heard that there's a graveyard. There's this random freaking graveyard in Lockmore, but no one really talks about it because it's viewed as a garden, more so. You definitely know that pretty much all the dead are buried outside of the city. even with the faith districts having their own churches and whatnot, like I said, no one has a graveyard, and the one that is there is written off as a garden. But you've never been there. So hearing that it's called a graveyard, your brain kind of goes, I swore that was a garden,
Right. Elks, was it?
Elks.
Elks, right. Where is that graveyard? One more time for me.
Okay, so... And he kind of goes into this long explanation, telling you to go past this house that has this very, fancy door, and then you take a left here, and you'll go past the other house that always smells like cherry pie. Like, he gives you directions, and they're very long-winded. But once you start piecing them together with, where it sounds kind of like it's in the middle of nowhere in the Faith District. But you figure, okay, you can probably work it out between the different, landmarks that he's given it to you.
All right, thanks, kid. Well, you wrapped up with your drawing?
Yeah. Raw closes his book up.
Alex looks really proud, and he kind of closes his book, and he tucks it underneath his arm. And he's, looking between the two. Is there anything else?
What else is on the list, Em?
Right. Yeah, no, we have iron shavings. I imagine we can go to any blacksmith for those, and crawler mucus, which I have my own thoughts on.
He wrinkles his nose, something fierce.
Yeah.
He's like...
Tell me about it.
Those things are really... he gets, quiet, like he's sharing a secret. He goes, those things are really gross.
Yeah, so is what they cough up. Though, where would I find crawler mucus here, or would I have to go outside of the city to harvest it?
He kind of gets, a surprised look, if there were crawlers here, they'd be gone. Really gone.
Yeah.
He kind of, with the book underneath his arm, he just plops down on the floor and starts thinking. And he continues to fiddle with his necklace as he's thinking. You could probably, I know, the blacksmith. She would know all the mines, and mines have crawlers, right?
Okay. That's, we need to go there anyway.
Or, if you go up to Coalfell, they've got a ton of mines. And you would know, you've been to Coalfell a couple of times, and you do know it's a mining town. It's about a half a day's walk northeast. More east, but northeast from Lochmore. And you know that, due to your history, you do know that crawlers would take up, if they can find a dark place with potential prey, they would probably take it up in a mine.
Yeah. Right. Been tons of help. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're like a little bubbly fount of knowledge. Take care, kid.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
And Vision will wave and out the door.
I love Alex. He's so much fun. So you guys head out. So now you have your leads on where this garden graveyard is. So where are you heading?
Right, the flowers aren't going anywhere, and neither are the iron shavings, but we are. We're gonna end up going to Coalfell at the end of the day, aren't we? But what order do you think we want to tackle this in? Well, you still there? Did I lose him? Walking too fast?
No, I was I think we should stop by the eye. if she knows where any mines are, maybe we could find somewhere between here and Carfell.
I think you'd be right, honestly. So we'll deal with the mucus first and catch the flower and the shavings on our way back then?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Fair enough. Hey, one more thing. Emmin strike you as being really weird this time around?
Yeah, I've seen him swamped before, but not like that.
I hope it's just work. Some of these items, well, one of these items makes me worried. All the same, let's hop to. Oh, hey, I haven't seen your, friend. Will they be joining us?
Kind of points over, kind of like over his shoulder, indicating his hood.
Right.
She's asleep.
Well, fair enough.
Ambition. Something kind of tickles the back of your head. Something something Alex said about how White Rod is used in rituals and prayers. And you swear you might have heard the name White Rod somewhere else. Since you are the only one of the two who's trained in religion, give me a religion roll. Or proficient. Trained, proficient. Old habits.
No, you're right. You're right.
Son of a bitch. That's exactly the DC.
Hey! My poor rolling doesn't hurt me to... Nice.
I've gone and jinxed it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fine.
So, White Rod, you suddenly get this chill down your back, and you know it's probably not good. The only White Rod that kind of clicks, besides what you've been told about this flower, is the monks known as the Order of the White Rod, who happen to follow a not so very nice goddess named Leviator, the mistress of pain.
Leviator?
Yes. You would know that she is a evil goddess, is a cold-hearted but calculating torturer of mind and body. So the fact that this flower's part is named White Rod, and Alex said it was used for rituals or prayers, suddenly there's kind of like that nagging in your stomach about the two possibly being connected.
I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this. Hey, Ral, something came to mind. It's been a while since I heard it. So, it didn't strike me at first, but do you actually know anything past the flower of White Rod?
Would he know anything?
Because the Order of the Monks is rare and they're more of like a secret society, you wouldn't really know. Like, White Rod would be the connection. You might have heard of Leviator just because of, like, studies, you know? But White Rod is a little bit out of your knowledge range. So it's just that missing connection right there.
No, just the flower.
No, and I didn't actually expect you to. Typically, I don't do too well with flowers that aren't medicine. This one's a bit different. I remember some of the people I was traveling with when I was learning how to do what I do. They brought up something. I wish I'd remembered this soon. I would have asked Emmin about it. Or maybe I wouldn't have. White Rod is used in rituals. Unfortunately, the only one I can think of isn't very good. Some evil goddess, mistress of pain. All bad. You don't think he's gotten into anything, do you?
I hope not.
I'd ask him, but he'd lie. And we'll gather it for now. We may, I don't think any harm will actually come from picking it. Worst case scenario, we throw them out, but... Just figured I'd bring up the fact that only people I know who actually use White Rod are... Is it Leviator?
Yes.
Are some monks that worship Leviator. And, I mean, it's just what I know. Figure I'd pass that information along. Actually, another thing. If we're leaving, we need to make a stop in by the inn. I need to pick up my stuff. As much as I do enjoy walking around in my travel clothes, in case anything should happen on the road, I'd rather be a bit more hard to kill.
Right.
You would have room pretty much anywhere between the what do you call it? The Adventurers Guild, the hospital, and the inn. If you're picking the inn, that's completely fine. You know, there are permanent residents. Mainly because of the fact that people do kind of come and go. Most people live at... No. Living at the inn is completely fine. I did have NPCs who do live at the inn, so you having a room, like a permanent room, totally makes sense.
No, it's fine. If the medical office does offer actual rooms, I'll sleep where I work. It makes it easier to get to patients and all the such.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it'd be your pick. Like, you know, you probably ended up at the inn originally, and then once you started working at the hospital, the medical office, you probably got, excuse me, like, you know, not staff housing. You probably have, like, you know, your own, like, little apartment.
Sure.
Like right next door. So lead on.
As an aside thing, what would Ral know, if anything, about the mucus?
Okay, how do I want to do this? Give me a medicine check.
Nope.
Well,
You know it is gross as hell.
Alright.
This is all up to you, Dolet, if Ambition wants to share any previous knowledge about crawler mucus.
yeah, I'd mentioned before that I know a little something about it. I don't know if that would just be me helping him with it, or if you want me to...
No. That is totally character-wise up to you. If Raul asked, you know.
If he brings it up, he'll tell him. But other than that, he's a bit preoccupied with the current state of the situation.
Yeah.
So while Ambition is packing his things, Raul is looking through his book. What do you know about the mucus? Trying to figure out how these things might mix, or...
Oh, well, I'm going to, as he's sliding through his chainmail, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't a potion I'm terribly familiar with, but, crawling mucus, and the player knows, so just to double check with the DM, crawling mucus, that's poison.
Yes.
Right.
It causes paralyzation.
Right, okay. Yeah, crawling mucus is more to the point. Hey, can you yank down on the back of my chainmail, please? It's caught on something.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Had a mouthful of water.
Thanks. So crawling mucus is also really, really bad. It's if it gets into a wound, it'll cause paralysis. It's a poison, but not really a poison. It's not something you'd want to mess with. And like I said, this potion it's like nothing I'm familiar with. So on goes the chainmail, on goes the poncho over the chainmail, and on goes his hat. Right. I like Emmin, just so we know. This feels fishy.
Mhm. I'm not sure we have everything he's working with for this potion.
I'm sure we don't. This just seems like what he couldn't get his hands on. Like he said, he had a shipment coming in that's late, so... Your, friend wouldn't happen to know anything on this, would she?
Could wait for her and find out.
Don't feel any rush to do so. Just, I was curious, really.
He was like about to reach over to his head. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm set up, good to go. Got my stuff. Don't want to leave the swag behind. Right to the eye, yeah?
Yeah.
After you.
Okay.
So where are you two heading first?
We're heading to Midnight's Eye first to ask about the mines.
Yes. Well, you're only going to learn how to English one of these days. You're only going to get to meet one of the NPCs. But you've probably been to the Midnight's Eye.
I certainly have.
Because you got your shield.
Yes, sir.
So you would be familiar with the assistant of the store. But I'm gonna read because I like reading these. So, through the front door, the sound of hammering echoes through the shop. The main room, a wonderful display of weapons, armors, and tools, ranging from the simple pieces to ones that look ancient and intricate, each piece well made no matter its final design. There's a nearby desk, one dark wood metal, sitting in the corner, covered in papers, looking like it belongs in a study more than the showroom of a blacksmith's. By the desk hangs a small bell from the wall, one that you would find on top of a church, carefully cradled in a black stand, a small rope attached to it. Sorry, I meant to... I was like, wait, no, I need to stop there.
Okay.
Having been to Midnight's Eye, you know that's like the call bell if no one's in the front room. So you can either give it a couple of minutes, or you can just be like, hey.
Oh, I'm fine. It's up to Ro.
I will ring the bell.
Okay. It's a very soft boom. For the small bell that it is, it has this very deep, reverberating tone. And you hear the hammer in the back kind of skip for a second, and then soft padding comes up. And out of the back room is this ethereal-looking elf, dressed in a simple short-sleeved top, long pants, their feet wrapped around the arches in thin material, a heavy apron, on their front. They come in with their hands clasped upon each other, and then their eyes that look, the irises, they look like burning coals almost as they look between the two of you, and they nod to you, Ambition, give a nod to you, Raul. And when you look at them, you're not quite sure if they're male or female. When they speak, their voice is very neutral in tone, so it kind of makes a bit harder to figure out what they are, but they're very welcoming, and, they kind of fix this mess of red hair that's behind them, on top of their head. And they're like, welcome back to the Midnight's Eye. How can I help you?
Right, because I would not. Welcome. Do I remember their name?
They probably introduced, but being the type of person they probably forgot. Their name is Anthem. Antham.
Okay, that's a very pretty name. It also just tells me nothing about the androgynous elf.
Exactly. Listen. Okay,
That is very clever.
Real meta. When I was creating this NPC, I was like, okay, I'm going to give the blacksmith a personal assistant. Boy or girl? Boy or girl? Boy or girl? And then I just made him androgynous.
Oh, well played.
So I was just like, fuck it, this is how they are. So yeah, so Anthem is very androgynous, like I said. Just can't tell, and no one seems to bother them about it. But yeah, look about the two of you.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to walk up. Head down as always. Anthem. This is Ral.
Ral gives a little wave.
Anthem, for such a casual meeting, they give a pretty formal and deep bow. Which, Ambition, you would know, this is normal for them. But to Ral, this is a little odd.
Right. Thanks again for the work order I put in. We'll see how she stands up sooner rather than later, I'm sure. But weird question. Couple of weird questions. Question one: you wouldn't happen to have any spare iron shavings lying around, would you?
They kind of chuckle softly, and their laugh kind of carries like a very soft, floaty echo to it. And they're like, well, Mistress Remmel is working on something that, do you know what type of iron, or just iron in general?
I look back to Ral, and then to the notes.
It just says iron shavings.
No, it just says iron shavings.
Yeah,
You
no,
said
didn't specify.
They kind
I don't
of
think you said the amount.
Oh. Well, we'll bring back a hefty amount if we can.
Anthem kind of chuckles and nods. That's not a problem. Mrs. Remmel has been working on a couple of things. I can give you a couple of different pouches. I'm a bit curious, though. That's a bit of an odd request.
Yeah, you have no idea. I got another one for you.
Kinda, the way you say it, he kind of like looks at you for a second, like, oh shit, what?
You wouldn't happen to know the best spot to run across a crawler for its mucus, would you?
There's a visible, like, ew, gross bug shiver that runs through Anthem's body.
Yeah.
And they kind of wrinkle their nose. And they just kind of hang there. Let me... Hang on. And quickly pads into the back, and you hear the hammering stop for a moment, and there's discussion.
How to ostracize yourself from people you only just knew. Wonderful.
Anthem comes back, kind of scratching their head. Mistress Remmel says that it's odd that you bring it up. There's been rumors of crawlers in some of the mines near Coalfell. They're abandoned mines, veins dried up and no one's really been using them. She had placed an order and they're sending adventurers out there, but that would probably be the closest place near here.
Well, that's two, says Coalfell.
Now that you've asked the iron shavings, that you've asked for the iron shavings and the crawler mucus, and Anthem's just like has this very quizzical look on their face.
See, the problem with the people having looks on their face, Ambition is a navel gazer. Has no idea.
You know what? I read that too, which is a problem because between Alex and Anthem, they're very eye contact.
Well, Alex is less of a problem because if if he looks down, he's probably looking at his face.
Yeah, so he just looks over Elks.
And Anthem, however,
Anthem stands about a good 6 feet. So it's easy to avoid his
they're
gaze.
taller. They're taller than him anyway.
Yeah, they're very tall and lanky. But so it's really easy to avoid their gaze.
Ral's done errands for Emmin before, right?
Yeah, both of you have.
Oh, okay. I assume there's been odd requests before.
From him?
Yeah. Maybe not this odd, but...
Usually you've been able to piece together whatever he's working on. This, in both character and player-wise, Bullet/Ambition, you can't piece together what the shit he's doing with these 3 items.
I bet.
This is just over your heads. Like, you can be like, okay...
I was more in the explaining weird requests.
Yeah, like...
As doing errands for him.
Yeah, like
others.
The first couple of times, he probably asked you for weird shit, and you're like, what is this? But then you kind of fell into the groove of, okay, he's asking for something weird or random. But like I said, you've having worked in the medical office for so long and running office errands for him so long, you've been able to be like, oh, okay, these 2 go together to make this, and this makes this. With these 3, you don't know. And the fact that, as Ambition said, this is probably only part of whatever he's working on, you really don't know. Excuse me. Anthem tells you about the Colfell, and he goes, oh, I'm so sorry, and he quickly pads off back into the room, and you hear him, shuffling about, and the hammer stops for a second, and you hear a laugh, which is very feminine. And then the hammer starts picking back up. And probably about a couple of minutes pass, and Anthem returns with 3 different little pouches. They're probably not quite tennis ball size, but they each have... They're all, they're all wrapped in different tones of burlap. So, one's a darker tone, one's kind of a medium tone, one's a lighter tone. And he holds them out, and he goes... like I said, Mistress Remmel's been working on different projects. There are different type of irons, regular iron, dark iron, and some, morning? No, why would I... And he kind of looks at the dark one. He goes, it's a type of iron, I think, but who knows? And he kind of, shuffles all 3, pouches to whoever.
For my sake, what irons are we working with now?
The first pouch, the lighter pouch, is regular iron. The second pouch is dark iron. And the third pouch, even though he said it was another iron, it's a very, very dark, almost black color. Your DM fucked up, didn't grab the goddamn name of it.
It's fine. Just wanted to make sure that I did hear 3 different types of iron.
It is 3 different types, and like I said, the pouch, outside pouch color kind of corresponds to the color inside.
Excellent.
So he goes, I'm sure one of those will fit what you need.
Thank you.
Is there anything else?
Well,
I think that's everything we need. If you need any of this back, once Emmin picks out whichever one he prefers, we could bring him back.
And hearing Emmin, he kind of tilts his head. Oh, excuse me, they kind of tilt their head. Why would Emmin need iron shavings?
He's working on some sort of potion. I don't know.
He's asked.
Yeah, he's asked for some weird stuff before. Who knows?
Okay. No, you can leave it all with Emmin. We really don't have a need for shavings. It's not like a scrap piece of metal that Mistress Remmel can reforge into something.
True enough.
Knowing him, he'll probably find some other use for it.
And if he doesn't, I will. Iron filings tend to catch fire with relative reliability. Good for starting campfires.
Anthem gives a nod. Oh, that's always good to hear. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I think that's everything.
They give a really big smile to both of you. Okay, well, whatever Aaron Anthem has ran you out with, good luck.
Thanks.
Care. I'm sure we'll see you again. I'm going to need upgrades to my stuff sooner rather than later.
And he gets this, they get this very, very big smile, and they nod. I'll let Mistress Rimmel know.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Do. Iron shavings.
Hey!
Oh god. I should have turned on the fan because I am suddenly dying in my room. So you've got the iron shavings. One item off your list. Where to next?
Well, the flowers aren't going anywhere, I don't think, Ral. You want to have a look at them, or knock out the Coldfell stuff first?
The flowers might need to keep, and I'm not sure how long this might take.
I think you're making the right
So
call.
we should gather those last.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, east. East by northeast. Off we go to Coldfell.
Awesome.
Actually,
Yes.
before we go, where was Midnight Sigh? Good, it puts us in the same area. I'd like to posit something, Ral. This might be a long trip, and I am a little bit barren on supplies. I haven't got a chance to go shopping. I kind of want to stop in at the general store, pick up just my healing kit again. I've run completely out of it. Do you mind?
Oh, I don't mind.
Yeah. It's on the east side of the bazaar. It's more or less on our way.
Actually, that's pretty much where you need to go to leave out one of the gates. That would be the appropriate road to head to Coldfell. That's easy enough. Inside, when you get inside, it's very simple, very plain. Some adventuring stuff, some everyday stuff.
I would ask if they have any healing kits available. Not even potions, specifically healing kits.
Healing kits, yes. Because here's the thing, you would know that Emmin's is kind of the only person who makes potions on a constant basis. So healing kits are easy enough to come by. Don't worry about money. Don't deduct it out of it. Session 0 gear right now is kind of, a free gimme because I didn't do money right. I didn't do money correctly the first time.
That's fine.
So, short of you asking for all the store, but a healer kit is easy enough to come by. I don't have an NPC for the store.
I'm going to ask for a bedroll and a couple of rations.
Yeah, that's easy enough to come by. Runs you a few gold, but they also know, they've probably seen you around town at least a few times. No, kitty, hold still. It's easy enough to come by. The person, the older human gentleman, asks if you need anything else.
No, just this for now, thanks.
Cool. Goes, wraps it up for both of you. No, don't play with the dice. Hold still. I gotta kick my cat out. She went straight for the dice that got set out. Wraps it up, hands it off. Turns to the next customer. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I wanted.
Okay, cool.
Just in case.
No, completely fine. Completely fair. You would know the best road to take, or the best gate to take out of to head to Coldfell would be the, on the right side of the map, it'd be the very top road, or the top gate, the one near the plaza. And like I said, you, I just read Twitch chat. You would know that it takes about, half a day to get there. It's not too crazy, of a walk. You do pass by a couple of smaller rivers on your way. and kind of remembering what Alex said, that they do tend to grow near rivers. If you two want to do a survival check.
Can do.
Looking along some of the banks, you see a couple of flowers here and there. You see some lilies, but they're more like water lilies, not actual lilies. Unfortunately, there's nothing matching the description. Even when, Raul pulls out his book to, like, hold it up, there's nothing really matching the description of what Alex gave you guys.
Oh, well.
Oh, I screwed up. I won't be able to switch maps because I forgot to make a miniature version of Colfell for you guys to work off of. So we're going to stay on Lockmore while I talk through this.
No worries.
I was like, damn it, that's what I meant to do. So trip to Colfell is pretty uneventful, like I said. It's all good, Sid. You get to Colfell, and it's a familiar sight. It's probably a little bit. I'd say a little bit after lunchtime, so all the workers have probably come and gone for lunch. The town's generally empty. There's a couple of guards at the gate. As you approach, a gentleman stands there. Younger human, short beard, short brown hair, dressed in decent leathers. He's got his arm resting on his short sword that's attached to his hip. And as he approaches, he looks at the two of you. Maybe recognizing you two, but not quite. But, he doesn't seem aggressive, and as you two get close. Hello, welcome to Colfell. What, brings you?
Shopping list, and lacking that, potentially an answer to the problem in the mines.
He kind of tilts his head slightly. We haven't sent out the bill yet, but if you... He scratches his beard. I've been rude. I am Jerris. If you hear about the, and he kind of wiggles his hands back and forth, those things. Yeah, grown-ass man going, nee, like weird jazz hands. Couple of fools have gone in. Some of them haven't come out. It's not my place to go chasing after children who think it's smart to explore an abandoned mine. And he, from where he's standing, he kind of motions around, because how Colfell is, it's a slight hill path up, but the town itself almost sits on a ledge. It's elevated from, like, the main road. And there's a fence that encircles the perimeter. And he goes, well, if you follow it around, the road around, you'll be able to see, and he kind of thinks for himself, there's 3 mines. 2 of them have been really blocked off. The one, you could see somebody's been breaking down the barriers that we've been putting up. We kind of just stopped. That would be where those things would be found, probably.
Oh, good to know. Question. How many of those things do you have an estimate on?
His face kind of sinks. You may think me of a lesser man, but I haven't exactly gone and counted.
Right.
Don't like that.
Forgive me. I've also been rude. I am Ambition, and he looks over to shoulder to Raoul.
I'm Raoul.
Gives a very short, polite nod, hand on chest. Just, Good to meet you. A pleasure if you are really here to take care of that pest problem.
One way or the other. Anyone who might actually have knowledge of what we're about to wade into?
He kind of rolls his head back and forth. Those who have it gone to explore, they're not usually from Coldfell. They're usually... he seems to be searching for a word. Tourists?
Ah.
Some of the miners have said they have seen, but they've already gone back to work, and any emotions to the open, the open air. I like it out here. I'm not a fan of, and he kind of makes a small closed motion around his head.
Yeah, no, they're nasty creatures. Well, looks like we're going in more or less blind.
Okay. Not that idea, but...
And, I'm interested in at least seeing the opening that was boarded up, so... Gonna take a walk-see around to where you point us out to.
Okay, it's like a 5-minute walk, because you have to go completely around the, what do you call it, the fence of Coldfell. And you can see where, where the posts for the fence, or, might have cut over to those mines to, stop just any person randomly walking in. But as the mines have been closed, you can see that they've moved the fence post, in and in and in, leaving these 3 mines abandoned. It's easy to see. The far left and the one right next to it, they've kind of got like Hobbit doors, just kind of shoved in. The one that's on the right, you can see that there's been damage to not only the wood barrier but the stone around it. It's easy to guess that somebody's probably used picks or crowbars to, loosen the barriers to get in. Not the whole thing, but there's definitely patchwork where it looks like, one by one a person could go in into the mine.
Tight fit.
That's inviting?
Dark, out of the way. Yeah, I figure we were about to run into our new best friends. Let's go get some mucus.
Awesome. Now map change.
Yeah.
If you two would like to place yourselves in the upper left-hand corner of the entrance. Anywhere in that gold area.
I will do so once the map changes.
God damn it! I changed this for myself. I'm dumb. Drag the players over, Rose. I'm learning.
It's fine. Such is
Yes,
life.
music kicked in too. Good. Ooh,
Oh, yeah,
I
it did.
may have to turn that down. A wee bit loud, Rose. Where is it? Do. Ooh, yeah, I maxed that out. Why did I max that out? Okay, cool. Turn that down. Okay. So here's the fun part. As you... Ambition, you can see straight in. You can see that it curves off to the left. But Raul, it's a bit dark for you. As far as I know, you have no dark vision or low light vision.
No, I don't.
Yeah, no, Ambition's gonna walk right in. It's not a thing to him. Doesn't even think that maybe his partner might have an issue.
1 second.
Huh?
Raul starts looking through his things. No torch.
Ambition will point to his pack. Always come prepared. And there's a little hooded lantern right at the bottom hanging off one of the straps.
Thank you. Raul takes it.
Okay, that's simple enough to get ready,
Lights it up.
and set up.
Hey, Raw, or hey, Sid,
Yeah.
does Ambition have any clue as to Raw?
Ambition knows.
Oh, so he does? Okay, never mind then. Because this would be a pretty big hint. Alright.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit. A wee bit.
It's like, wait, an elf? What?
Yeah.
No, okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
So Ambition, you have your 60 feet dark vision. Rawl, for the lantern, I'm going to give you 10 feet of clear vision and another 20 feet of low light. So you've got 30 feet around you. But you know that Ambition's pretty good in the dark. So just something to kind of tack on your board. No harassing the DM by
how big?
so 10 immediately around you as full light, and then an additional 20 of low light. So you've got 30 essentially. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I don't know how you did that, but that's cool.
Auras, the little gear on the token, you can set up auras.
Oh, awesome. Good to know. Yeah, hang on. I don't think it's smart to harass the DM in the middle of the game, considering one of you've already gone and the other one has to go. You still have your sessions to go.
Well, while the DM is off doing that, Ambition's
Yes.
going to put us aside and get his actual factual venturing gear on. Remove the poncho, take out the shield, take out the kalwa.
Cool. So, Raul, as you kind of pick up the, pick up the lantern, set yourself up, ever so often you see like a tiny little spark or a sparkle off the walls. And either of you, really, you can look at it and you kind of notice it's a tiny, tiny little gem. Like a fleck of it. And the walls kind of give off, as you kind of move the light about, it kind of gives off this almost icy flicker about.
Oh, this mine wasn't picked clean. No wonder people are in such a hurry to get back in here.
It's so close to the entrance, too. Weird.
Hang on, shit.
No! Oh, it's after the hiccups.
Not a good time to get them. Okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, cool. Hi, kitty. The mine hasn't been absolutely picked clean, but these are like tiny, tiny little flecks. They wouldn't really be used for anything.
Oh, alright.
So, but just the glimmer is enough to, draw in a couple of greedy people. Roll for hiccups. So you are free to move about the cabin. So yeah, have at it. Because this is gonna be fun. Because I get to work with Fog of War. So you do see that the cavern turns off to the left.
I'll keep myself between the darkness and my body.
Alright. Oh shoot, I never set up a token for her. Darn. I guess for the time being, she's just gonna stay on his person until I figure something out.
Okay.
About this time, if Ambition looked over at Ralph, in his messy hair there's like a little matted spot, and sitting on top of him is that little creature.
With the ditto face.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Ambition considers all the spells he has and knows that using them now comes at a cost. Right. Wow.
Where are we, boy? Like, hey, well, we're in a mine, looking for crawlers. Oh, and we're with him.
Nice to see you, Val. I suppose class is now in session. Right, well, we have work to do, so if you'll excuse me, my most favorite teacher, and a mission
this sounds more like it'll be a field exam.
I don't like any of this.
And Raoul will follow close behind.
So I have to measure out stuffs.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so right there. Hang on, I'm fumbling. Where is it? Where is it? I know the fog of war somewhere. There we go. Polygon reveal. You get right about. I'll give you that. Oh shit! How do I make it real? Click it. Right there.
How do I make it
There you go.
There we go.
Hang on,
Yeah,
that noise. Stop it. Hang on, I gotta kick the cat out. She's being bad
No,
now.
take it.
Come here. No, don't meow at me. She has a plastic fetish. She likes to eat plastic. I'm like, please don't.
Weird things to hear, but sometimes you just gotta deal with it.
So there's your field of vision right now.
Before heading out, I'd like to move into the center of the secondary room and just have a look-see around for clues.
Okay.
Skitter marks, people feet, drag marks, that sort of thing.
Do give me investigation? Yeah.
Oh, damn.
There's definitely been some footwork, like some tracks, mainly because the fact that they're easier to see because the mine has been abandoned for some time and dust is kind of settled. It's easy to pick out, a couple of footprints here, a couple of footprints there. There's definitely been some traffic in and out. It definitely looks like there's been more traffic in.
Footprints going one way. Are they all specifically footprints?
Yeah, everything right now is been footprints. There's different sizes,
right.
So you could
Sure.
you could surmise that it's been different types of races, going in and out.
So, doesn't look like they've run into anything so soon.
Yeah, I also don't see much in the way of people leaving. Unless there's another exit, it could get nasty. Vision's going to keep to the walls because of prior training and just move up along them, hoping to keep as little of himself shown as is possible.
Okay, ooh, that gets you a good bit of... Okay, so I'm just gonna... get to... Oh no, you wouldn't be able to see that because it's a wall.
That is a wall.
Right there, up, around, here, there, walls there, so I've got to give you line of sight here. Yeah.
Oh. We have choices. Is that north or south? Yeah. Looks like it splits.
Take a look at tracks then. And Raoul move forward and start investigating. Hold on a second. Sorry.
I heard that, but yeah, go ahead. I will...
And then Bishop, while he's looking for tracks, Bishop's just going to cover him.
Okay. Go ahead and place wherever you want to kind of end up, or if you're going to stay right there. Because...
No, I'm absolutely going to be close enough that if something happens, I can actually be of use.
Be somewhere not near him. Okay, so I have to move the map over for myself. And the thing is, I'm trying not to reveal too much on Twitch, because I want I want this to be
Sure.
fun. Damn it, I just measured and I screwed up and I didn't count properly. So you can't see there. You'd be able to see that. Okay. Okay, I got this. I'm a pro.
Okay.
You'd get like right there. More rock in the way. 60 comes out to about here. And
Doing a lot better with the polygon field than I ever did.
I'm gonna give you that.
Oh gosh, I had so many times where I ended up overlapping it and making it like inverse.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, okay, I have to be like about this range.
And Ral, you said you were going to just check the ground for tracks to justify which way we're going?
Right. Let's see, investigation.
I'll give you never mind, I don't need to give you advantage. I was gonna give you advantage because ambition kind of already caught, like, started where, where the tracks would be. So you would have a good notion of where they may be connecting to. You can definitely tell there is way more foot traffic heading south. Actually, no, I'm going to give this. Majority of the footwork goes almost directly south. There is a set of tracks that heads to the south east. And as far as you can tell, there is no returning tracks from that direction.
Well, pointing towards the southeast track. There's footprints heading further in that way, and none coming back out.
Well, if I had to guess as to the reason why, I'd say that our end goal is that direction. Right.
Probably. And we'll start following them.
Actually, about this point, just out of habit, I'm just going to look up. Can you see the top of the cave?
Yeah, it's probably about like a 30-40 foot cave. It's not grossly tall. With your sight, there's nothing on the ceilings.
Okay, just checking.
I was wondering if somebody was actually going to check.
Gets 110 feet in, looks up, they're all behind him.
Shit!
Right.
You see that's a wall. Oh god, I gotta scroll. You can see that.
You said southeast, right?
Right.
Right.
As you confirm this, Raul, you kind of notice that even though the majority of tracks do head southwest, there's still more going in than coming out. But there's that one set of tracks that, like I said, goes to the southeast and doesn't return.
So, like, kneeling down and examining them, then. There's a pretty big split here, but most heading further in this way while getting up and taking a step in aren't coming back. So I think this is our best shot.
Right.
Okay, measure tool. Okay.
There you go, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, okay. That gives you...
And, like, as we get to this next bigger room, like, raising the lamp up a bit higher to try to get a clearer view of general area.
You can see that There's definitely been probably more recent pick marks, like somebody has been actually trying to, excuse me, trying to find something. But, you know, nothing really out of the ordinary. It looks what you would probably expect from an old mine. The footprints that don't return still continue this way.
So this will be where they came in to scavenge.
Looks like it.
Right. Wow.
Whoops. Oh, what did I do? Never mind. Screw it. That's what's happening. You're there, so I have to give you... Why is it starting there? Whatever. No, don't do that. That's a thing now. What is this?
Oh, help.
There you go. This pathway and the track, the single track, heads directly south.
I'll take the lead again, just in case.
Okay.
Since we still don't see any footprints coming back, right?
Yeah, like I said, it's the solitary.
Right.
Actually, give me a perception check while I figure out light. Oh god, I can't see what it is. There's two things. Besides the kind of echoey noise of, you know, what you expect to kind of find in the mine, there's this almost wet scraping. Like if somebody took a washcloth and dragged it across rocks.
Oh.
The second thing you notice is there's this smell of rotting.
Well, I certainly think you brought us in the right direction.
And the solitary tracks still continue. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you this because that just fills out the room.
Okay, fair.
I was like, it's like this much. That's just bad. Let me just fix that.
Has that sound that we've picked up been picked up because it's gotten louder, or is it just we've just finally noticed it?
You can guess that you're probably finally close enough to hear it.
Right.
But like I said, the best way to describe it is like a wet washcloth being dragged across rocks.
That's fair.
I'm
hold
dumb.
on
I
a
forgot
second.
something. No one hears me clicking. Because I forgot to...
Clicking? Clicking what? Clicking?
Yeah, exactly. Because I forgot to bring up something for myself.
I just remembered I do have dark vision, sort of, but I do weird coordination.
I meant to ask you about that, but that's however you want to roll it.
Oh, realizing I'm falling behind.
Oops, sorry. Okay, so that would give you... That would give you this 9 here. Blah.
It's a dead end off to the west, so... Still, I'd like to kind of go in the middle of the room and just again have a little look-see around, see if there's anything left, any, bodies. Blood.
You can
Just
see that
dragging.
You can see that there was the singular tracks definitely kind of roamed here. You can see that there's definitely fresher marks on the wall. You even kind of notice that there's like a pea-sized gem on the ground, kind of in the midst of the dirt. And then,
Well, I will pocket that.
and then the actually, I have to hit that to show. So you can see like where you are in Vision. That's where the tracks kind of circle back and forth a little bit, and then they by themselves still go off to the east.
Someone had a death wish. Really pushed their luck. Nothing in here, though. So... Her Majesty wouldn't happen to have any grand insight, would she, Ro?
About what exactly? About what exactly?
Just in general wisdom.
The sound, that wet washcloth, it's now turned into this sluggish, almost pulsing noise, and the stench of rot is even thicker.
Oh. Shield up. Spear up. Yeah, I think we're about to find it. Oh, that's sickeningly sweet.
Would you mind checking ahead? And you see the little, like, drawn eyebrows roll. I suppose. And she vanishes.
Wait, where'd she go?
Need a little token for her.
If you wanna, because I completely forgot to give you a thing for her. Dark vision, low light vision, I don't have numbers on those. I'm the DM and I don't have numbers on those, I'm bad.
Alright, she's using the imp sheet.
5e, imp.
This is invisibility, dark vision 60?
Okay.
No, dark vision 120.
Oh shit. She should have been leading. Okay, yeah, I got it.
And be a crutch?
Excuse me. Okay. So, are you just sending your imp ahead around that corner?
Yeah.
Because your imp is not you, I'm not going to reveal it further. But the moment your imp gets out of Ambition's vision, just around that corner, you hear a shriek, and your imp immediately comes back to you. Oh, that's right. Never mind, you can see through shit. Fuck, I gotta give it to you.
That's why I was like, oh, that's a little weird to coordinate, but...
I forgot you went chain. So your imp rounds the corner. And what you know of crawlers, they're usually about 6, maybe 8 feet. Well, this thing takes up pretty much most of the tunnel.
So, while sending her off, Ral would have taken a seat on the ground and closed his eyes to see through her.
Gotta protect my squish.
And sees this and like immediately wakes up. He's like, oh no. Oh, that's not good.
That was quick. Do you wanna...
Oh, there's a big one over there. Just around the corner.
I mean, to be fair, crawlers are usually pretty big.
Oh, no, bigger.
Bigger? Like... Oh, fuck.
As a quick note, this thing didn't really move. It's just kind of there. But you did pick up that there was a couple of tools on the ground, a couple of pieces of cloth, maybe a couple of chunks of something. But it didn't just look like a crawler, a really fat crawler. It kind of almost looked stuck. Like, not height-wise stuck,
about crawlers.
but it got too wide and got stuck.
I still don't know this, but that's hilarious.
That's what your familiar saw.
Like Val closes his eyes again. Just draw you a little.
It Winnie the Pooh. Yes, it kind of did.
I was thinking of as we're going to go and smell a bit of honey.
Is your imp still invisible, or is it?
It's invisible.
Okay.
Well, I'm asking Ambition. What do you know about crawlers? Like how they find stuff?
DM, before I answer out of context, how much do I know about crawlers and how they find stuff?
You probably heard. Well, there we go. Brain, please work. You would know that because you know that the poison, quote unquote poison you harvest from them, causes paralysis. You would know that they would have some sort of paralysis attack. And because they like to live in the dark, they can probably see in the dark as well.
Right.
They're a little squishy, but this is a big boy. Or girl, I haven't figured out yet. But you know, they're just... Even a singular one is kind of bad, especially for somebody who's untrained. Something of this size is... you know, not good. And to be honest, you're a little curious of how the hell did this thing get so freaking big? As your imp is floating there, you do notice what it seems to be the cave continues, but it goes down. So
like not south, but down.
Like down, like elevation down,
Right.
like deeper underground. So what you can guess is that this thing probably was living further down, had been munching its way up, got a little too fat, and is now stuck at this entrance.
Right, to answer your question, Ral, I just know they're big, they're bugs, you don't want to get bit. I'm more familiar with their mucus.
I think it got stuck.
I'm sorry, what?
It looks stuck.
Well, that's going to make this job real easy.
You hear... This is clear as day. You hear scraping.
It sounds like it's trying to get unstuck. We should probably, if we're going to do this, strike while the iron's hot.
Hold up.
Yeah, your imp goes, yeah, it's wiggling.
With the telecommunication.
Yeah.
Over here, boy. Take it out fast. So, opens his eyes, gets up. Yeah, we should hurry with this.
Sounds right.
Hang on, I have to move the map for myself.
No worries.
Okay.
I need up again. She just sits down on my shoulder.
Twitch didn't see anything. Hush. Now that you are fully in its sight,
Why couldn't it just be skeletons? I'm good with skeletons.
it starts to worm, like it's trying to fat roll itself out.
I'm sorry. This is a potentially life-threatening situation. But you're so descriptive, and it's really, really funny.
Would it be even better if I had my camera? Because I was like doing like as if I was doing like the worm on the ground. I was doing it in the air.
Bless.
As it's doing this, you hear a little bit of scraping, and you think it maybe moved forward.
Right. Okay.
Let's go ahead and roll for initiative. Because this thing does have its own. Oh no!
Hold on a second. Is it that everyone had to tick off or their initiative going weird? Oh, there it is.
Did I not click yours off?
There it is. I found it.
That's very, very.
I had 2.14.
Turn. What does it roll? It rolls a
0. Nice.
Oh, hang on. I gotta see what it actually.
Helpful.
It actually goes last. You fat fuck. So Ral, you are up.
Hold on. Never had anything with a pet before.
It's all good.
Figure out the rules there.
Oh no, I dropped my die. Never mind, it's lost to the abyss.
Oh, well. Rip that die.
My room's dark and it fell underneath my desk, and I have no idea where it went.
Okay, all it has is that if I take an attack action, I can make it attack. I don't know anything else offhand about that. So, well then, Ral is going to take his little casting crystal and raise up his hand. Okay, raise up his hand, point out. Fire!
That hits. Okay, so firebolt, jumps from your hand, hits it. It's big. It's an easy target. As it hits it, it definitely kind of like twitches. Like you can tell that the spell did something to it. But as the spell dissipates, you kind of see that it's got this almost slimy film on it. And you're not quite sure if your firebolt did as much damage as it might have, as it should have.
Disgusting.
I was gonna actually make like mouth sound effects for this thing, but I'm like, no one wants to hear this. Yeah, essentially, that's essentially what I was gonna go for. But I was like, nah, I'll skip that for now. Anything else?
I think that is it.
Oh Jesus! Alright, Ambition is yours. I cannot be watching Twitch chat. You guys are terrible.
Right, well, it's stuck. So, I'm going to have a bit of a run up. 5, 10, 15, 20. Have a bit of a stab just to test the waters. Shield up, spear up, thrust.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Excellent.
Okay, 10 damage. Take stance, you put your shield up, push your it's a spear, yeah. Spear.
It's a short spear, yeah.
My brain went, it's a stick. I'm like, no, it's a spear. What are you doing?
I mean, it's a stick with a very, very pointy end on it.
Exactly. You sink it into the body, and it just kind of cuts right into it. It's just... And as you pull it out, there's just this ooze that just kind of leaks from it. And,
I hate that this is effective. I hate that this is effective.
and as you pushing the spear in, it like starts almost thrashing as best as it can. And when you pull it out, it's just, you're pretty sure you've probably pissed it off.
Well, that was the point.
Done?
Yes. This time I'm done.
Okay, cool. It is this thing's turn. Well, it wanted the tiny little morsels, and it was trying to get to it, but now one's in front of it. Make one attack. Oh shit, hang on. Oh, where the hell did it go? I had it, hang on. The 16 hit? No.
No.
Okay.
I'm a big old tough boy.
Okay, so one of its tentacles sweeps right by, but you're already prepared for it. You just deflect it right off your shield. But as it twists about, this sickening noise echoes, and its mouth opens. That's
Not as stuck as I thought.
That's another 16. Which does not hit. It comes down to try to bite you, but it's big and fat and slow, and you're ready for it. And it just kind of chomps into the wall next to you, and kind of, and just kind of seems to be disgusted with itself that it didn't even get you. It just got wall. Nope, you're still stuck, fatty.
Wonderful.
Next. Yeah, Raul, I'll tell you.
Okay. Noticing the relative ineffectiveness of that fire. Okay. Rob points at the creature with crystal in his hands and mutters, "A child of the gods, help us, please," and fires off a guiding bolt.
Son of a bitch!
Oh!
Oh, baby.
Oh. Well, go
okay.
ahead and roll that damage.
Right, this is looking... I enjoy a good guiding bolt.
That, truth be told, that was one of the spells I was worried about. When I saw that you guys could cast it at a higher level, I was like, shit.
Oh, wow, Warlock level guiding bolt.
Oh, right, because Warlock's always capped at max level.
Yeah.
Right, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw it on the sheet, I was like, that's gonna hurt. So what am I doing here? You cast it, wait. I can do math. No, I can't. Yes, I can. What is that? 24 plus 10, because I always take the first roll. So, did you just do 34 damage to my fucking thing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so...
And now he has...
So...
this spell's mean.
The blast of golden white jumps from your hand, slams into it, and it kind of almost seems to sink into its mouth, into the wound that ambitions caused, and kind of doesn't hover around the beast. It's inside, like a really screwed up glowworm, making it very clear it's kind of translucent, and you can actually kind of see that rotting smell is kind of recent because there's a dark spot inside of its stomach.
Rip.
Yeah.
Has Ambition ever seen Ralph?
I think we only worked together at the
medic,
office
right?
so far. Yeah.
Sensible.
So yeah, Advantage on the next attack that hits. Or next attack, really. Now that you've dropped that onto his face, anything else, Raul?
That would be it.
Okay. Ambition, all you.
I was just gonna take a step back and look at Roll for a moment. I had no idea. I'll be honest. Turn back and stab it.
18 hits. Jesus, okay. You know, it buffed its health because you two are fucking powerhouses, but you're kind of chunking through it. So it's easy, really easy to now see this essentially giant glowworm in front of you. You thrust a spear in and it shakes and quivers, and as you pull the spear out, you think you might have hit something like a stomach, maybe? You don't know how many stomachs this thing has.
Oh, the smell that must come off of that.
The smell of rot and acid just starts to leak. And you think there might be a bone that just slipped out of the wound and clatters to the floor.
Oh, there's no way this is going to pay well enough.
It is not happy.
I will again. I'll again just leave it at that.
Okay. Because it is angry, it's going to try to wiggle. Fuck you, you asshole. No, it is. Hang on. It's not going anywhere. But it's definitely too focused on trying to get out of its stuck position. Because it does not like to be stabbed. So it essentially wastes its whole turn trying to break free, kind of forgetting that there is something to eat in front of it. So, back to you, Raul.
Wait, what's going on? Oh, it's gotten to me now. Terrible. That is so weird that... wait, is Eldritch Blast an attack roll spell?
Yes?
That is weird that it's not on the attack list with other attack roll spells.
Huh.
Oh, it is weird, but it is an attack roll.
Yeah, let's say. Do-do-do. Yeah, make a ranged spell attack. So if you don't have it, you can just roll d20 plus your proficiency. I forgot how it all works now.
Proficiency in main spell casting.
Yeah.
Spell attack bonus.
Yeah. That's the word, spell attack bonus. That was what I was looking for instead of proficiency, but both of them are needed. I swear to you, I'll have player notes by the time session 1 actually comes up.
That's what session 0s are for.
Oh, that's not gonna help.
Nope.
Okay.
So you fling, the smell of whatever was in this crawler got to you as you're in the middle of slinging the spell, and you go to cover your nose, and the spell goes wide, hits the ceiling above it. God, does it stink. Anything else?
Awful. No, he's just kind of covering his face, though.
Ambition, it's all you.
Well, Ambition's going to stay where he is, but he's not going to hit it with a spear. He's going to raise the spear straight up and swing and No, he's going to raise his hand straight up and pull down as if he's pulling down on a bell, and there will be a very audible bell ringing out.
Yes. It's a what? Wisdom save?
Wisdom save.
No. Okay.
Wait, no. It is a wisdom save. Why is this an attack roll?
Ah.
Yeah, no, it's a wisdom save against my 12, so it's a very good chance it beats it, but
Not
the damage
with
is
a
too much.
fucking 2. 2 plus, hang on. What's his wisdom? Plus 1. So a whole 3. No, he does not save. It does not save.
Dong.
I wanted to grab that sound effect. So 7?
Oh no, it's taking damage. So, unfortunately for me, to be fair,
The
the
D12
D12 is a 3.
Oh, okay. I see what it is.
Because if it was fresh, it would have
Then
had
the
7
okay.
damage.
So yeah, so the bell rings and it just kind of thrashes its head even more. Kind of actually bashes its head against some of the rocks nearby, scattering it. But its thrashing kind of seems a bit weaker. Anything else for you?
No, that was
Okay, cool.
I was banking on that D12 to do a bit more damage.
Con save for retching, yeah. I was considering to talk to Twitch chat. I was considering doing con saves for the smells, but wasn't. Oh, you dumb motherfucker! It's a 1. It's still lost in the throes of trying to get free. So it burns its whole turn trying to get free. Actually, what I will do, I will roll a percentile because I actually wrote this down. Once I find my percentile, is that it? Yeah, that's it. That is a. You start hearing cracking, and there's a couple of rocks that start to tumble near you, especially you, Ambition, since you're kind of near a wall.
Crap.
Everything kind of settles after it hits its head, but it definitely seems like if you don't finish this soon or move, the cracks in the wall may become bigger. It is Ralph's turn.
Seeing all that going on, feeling like, okay, kill it fast. Oh no.
Nope, it hits.
Oh.
You, as you fling the guiding bolt, it seems to almost skip off of its body, but then the spell wraps around the crawler and wraps around again and again until it finally like sinks into the chest. Jesus Christ.
17.
And as it sinks into the chest, that wretched smell and whatever was leaking from its wounds seems to get pushed out further and further and further as the magic sinks further into its body. And then there's this weird pop as the spell actually sinks into the body. And it kind of twitches and rattles and it throws itself against the wall again. And slumps. Almost deflating right in front of you, Ambition. Fluids that you probably don't want to identify. Slowly leaking towards your boots.
No. I don't want to smell like this for a week.
It is dead.
Oh, I have to harvest off this thing. Oh man. If we could have killed it in a different way. Alright, well. You are terrifying.
One second.
No problem. For this... Oh, I don't have sheets. Damn it, Rose. You should have brought that up sooner. For this... Because, like I said, because both of you have been working in a medical place, you get the whole cutting and slicing and removing of things. One of you can... I'm trying to see... One of you can lead it while the other one helps. It just depends.
I'm fine with either.
Hmm?
I'm fine with either. Save
Okay.
if you want to cut or help, that's up to you.
I mean, if you two want to take two different sides, because this thing is huge. It's now that it's kind of deflated, and it takes up like the full, like almost 20 feet across. There's probably more than enough for both of you to work on, or you two can pull your knowledge together for a single harvest.
I'm fine with helping if you want advantage.
Yeah, I'll go for it with the help.
Then give me a nature. Okay, blew that one out of the fucking park. It's not hard.
My herbalism kit has some flasks. Go microscope and stuff in.
I will say, just for the sake of expediency and story-wise, you would have probably gone, oh, we need something to put this in. So you would have probably picked something up. Or you probably would have had something on your person.
I'll be honest, I have a couple of jars on me I can empty.
There you go.
Necessary.
So, it's, hang on, where'd it go? Why did I close it? Ah! Okay, it's not too hard to cut into this, and you can see, using Ambition's knowledge of what a crawler does, which is paralyzed with its tentacles. You take one of the tentacles, you kind of follow it into the head portion of the crawler, and you kind of carefully cut, and you can see there is this grossly tumor-esque gland at the base of the tentacle. And peering, you can see that there is a couple of more, these mucus glands still intact after everything. But I would say, due to the size and whatnot, you can easily harvest 3 of these. I'd say they're a bit bigger than a baseball. Actually, probably closer to softball size. 3 of these things, easily.
I think we'll have plenty.
Yeah, and then whatever he doesn't need, we get to keep. Lovely. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna be sick.
Good idea.
I need to do 1 roll. Nope, you're going to dice jail. Fuck you. That's the second one in a row that bastard just gave me. So it is officially now somewhere underneath my bed, because that's where I threw it. That's dice jail. It's just oblivion. You harvest, pack it up. Heading out, there's no problem. Following your, getting out is an issue. Knowing what you do know about crawlers, you keep an eye out. Nothing seems to pop out. Nothing seems to follow you. And you can leave the mine without an issue.
I'm going to be real. I thought for a second the whole thing was going to come down on top of us, Raw.
In the background, you suddenly hear the cracking and shivering. As a note,
all the same.
On that percentile, I rolled a 94. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah.
Didn't have very long to go, did it?
No. In my notes, this is meta, 90 would have started the collapsing. 95 would have caused something to actually have fallen. So, yeah, you were that close.
It's cool. I, too, like to live dangerously.
Since you're done in the mine, what would you like to do?
Well, first thing I'd like to do is...
breathe fresh air for a while?
Yeah, just not breathe in acids and stomach contents. And, actually, Ambition's going to reach into one of his jars and pull out a bunch of cured mullein and lavender and roll up a fucking cigarette.
Just...
Alright. It's lavender, it's mullein. This is incense. I swear to you. It is not incense. Right. So...
that's more that.
That's 2. I suppose we should probably mention we killed it. We could, I could probably get paid. which would be a plus. It's nice to have some money in my pocket again, and more open, more effectively, they can know that there's not a giant crawler in here trying to kill everyone. Though,
That'd be good.
I don't know that they should reopen this.
That one's probably been around a while if it was that big. I imagine there's more deeper in.
I wonder if it wouldn't have been better if there wasn't a cave-in.
Both of you give me a quick nature. Okay. From what you do know of crawlers, they have no problem eating their own. So if this bastard was this big, it probably ate whatever else was down there, which would have been other crawlers. So just, feather in your cap, note on your board type thing.
Fair. Well, would they just move this man up to them?
Because it ran out of stuff to eat down there?
Well, certainly stuck because it didn't, but...
Okay,
Either way, let's go at least report this before we do anything else, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you make your way back around the fence. Jairus is still standing there. Seeming bored, almost. And as you two walk around, he kind of looks at the sun, looks at you two. You weren't gone very long. And as you get close, he kind of turns his head. Oh, okay, so... What?
Yeah, we took care of it.
Okay. And, he kind of goes pale, and you kind of see him, flinch and gag a little.
Yeah, we smell it.
Oh, it's still on us, isn't it?
Yeah, we smell the crawlers. Yay! My favorite.
Okay, he, kind of pats himself down. He pulls out a full piece of paper, and he kind of, shuffles into one of his side bags that's attached to his hip. And he goes, "Here, you've completed the bill, just take it. Please." And you notice just from the outside seal, from the inscription, not inscription, the writing on the outside, it's a bill that would usually go into the Adventurers Guild. Usually gets signed off by Nim, who is the head of the Adventurers Guild. So you're kind of cutting out the middleman on this point.
Charming.
He's like, "Take it. Let them know we won't be sending anything. Thank you. Please." And he kind of
Ambition sits there for a moment because this is one of his pet peeves. He doesn't like when people are unappreciative. But he will relent because unfortunately he smells like a bunch of fucking crawler insides.
And Jairus kind of still keeps his head turned. And
okay, here, give it to me. We'll be out of your hair.
He gives you the paper and the gold, and the sack's kind of heavy.
Oh, good.
Huh. And so he fully turns from you, talking in the complete opposite direction. Thank you. Safe travels.
Right. Take care, kid. Walks off.
And you two head back to Lockmore.
I immediately toss the gold at Ross so he gets a feel for what we just earned.
It's a bit heavy.
Oh.
If you want to take the time to count it.
Maybe not out in the open.
Yeah, that's true. If at this point, since we've going for a bit, take a short break.
Wunderbar.
Cool. You guys are so nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. They're taunting me nicely in Twitch chat. So we're gonna take a quick break.
Be nice.
I've got to I've got to turn on a fan or something because I'm dying in my room. But yeah, take like a 5-10 minute break, grab a drink, bathroom, whatever the hell we need. And then I'm going to switch it back to Lockmore for everyone. Because this one, I didn't...
There's a river between these two towns.
Huh?
Is there a river between these two towns to clean up?
Yeah, I mean, it would be the river that you two... there's a couple of rivers,
Like
including the ones
cold.
that... Yeah, including the ones that you passed by. Despite the smell and the kind of stickiness, it's a bit easy to clean off your boots, off of your hands, your tools, your spear. It takes a little bit, not too long. But, you know, you do get your items cleaned. And the smell isn't really there. Short of somebody, like, putting their nose right against your boots. But then again, no one wants to put their nose against anyone's boots. You guys clean up pretty easily.
That'll eventually put me in higher spirits.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
so yeah, travel back to Corriger. Fuck, Lockmore. Travel back to Lockmore. Not a problem. On the way, you do notice on like one of the parallel roads, you know, a cart with a couple of people. They seem to be heading probably in the direction of Colfell. So you can probably surmise that it's probably like a delivery or something. But nothing really pops out, nothing really happens. It's a little boring for like, the 3-4 hour walk it is.
It's fine. the fight before it was plenty exciting.
So you get back and it's probably just about dinner time. The sun's starting to get a little lower. It's still light. So I was just reading what you said in chat. So the city is a little bit livelier because it's not like essentially the work day. People are going about either going home or their second job or just trying to find food. You have your 2 items, your crawler mucus and your iron shavings. Since you found no flowers along the rivers, your last real choice would be the graveyards.
Right, so I don't know if we were supposed to finish this today, Raul, but it's certainly looking like we can. Just gotta make a little side trip to a cemetery.
Damn. Not.
Hey, worst case scenario,
How
it was
fast
off.
Emmin thought we'd get this done.
I certainly hope you didn't expect it to get it done in a day. Crawler mucus is a bit of a pain if it's not readily available.
Yeah.
Well,
This is...
we can finish it up now. We can grab the flowers in the morning and get back to him. Here, go. It is getting late.
We can go get the flowers now. I'll prepare them.
Right, right.
Maybe.
Just gotta find our way around the Faith District. Gotta remember what Alex said.
It takes you a little bit because it was earlier in the day, and Alex's that's a hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I put an X at the end of his name? Damn it. Alex's instructions are, like I said, a bit childlike, but you can kind of piece them together, and as you make your way through, you do notice the house with the fancy door, and as you go a couple blocks down, there is the house that smells like cherry pie. So his directions are pretty true. Do you give me, both of you give me an investigation, though. Investigation? Yeah, investigation.
It's a lot of 17s.
Yeah, what the hell? What is this shit? I don't even like cherry pie, Leek, and I just said cherry pie because it was the first thing that popped in my head. I feel Alex would be a very cherry person. So it takes you a bit to go back and forth. Finding the entrance, even though Alex gave you the directions, it's a bit of an odd trip passing through the churches and buildings before you notice this long alley. It catches, you catch it out of the corner of your eye. The pathway, the pathway stretching for quite a distance, and you notice that the pathway drops downwards as it goes down, like below street level. And as you walk down it, you notice that there is this very, almost delicate-looking iron archway woven into a twisted visage, I can say the word, of flowers and leaves. And there are these two masks hanging at the very top of the archway. One of a raven, and the other of a wolf.
Son of a bitch. No kidding.
And as you look down, the alleyway itself is a bit darker. But as you look down these stairs that do go down a bit, you can see little lights lining the passageway.
Wait, once more for me?
It's brain, please. Almost got this. Since it is getting dark in the day and this is between buildings, the alleyway is dark, and going down the steps is even darker, but along the walls, stone walls, there's little lights lining the way.
Oh, nice. Seeing what I've seen, I waltz down cocksure of myself. Well, as cocksure as fucking ambition's going to look.
That's a phrase I haven't heard in forever, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go.
Raul, are you following?
Yeah, Raul's gonna trail as well as he can.
Okay. Heading down the stairs as the darkness begins to creep around you, the small baubles of lights lining the stone walls, soft pulses of warmth washing over you as the light touches you. The smell of earth starts to overtake anything you previously would have smelled above ground, and the light sweetness of flowers begins to mingle. The steps open up into a massive oval room, a slim pathway carved between large patches of nearly psychedelic splattering of colors resting on a bed of green. Along the ceiling, more of these sunlight orbs hang about, leaving the room to be a comfortable temperature despite being deep underground. I have to reuse music because I didn't prep music, you dumbass.
No worries.
Nope, fixing that. You stop that. Forget the birds. Screw you, birds. You don't exist here. So you have this, like I said, the room probably goes about 100 feet back. You can see that with this little narrow pathway that does weave its way through the patches, there's a couple of small branching off, you can presume, into to other possible rooms. Well, that's way soft. There we go. I'm gonna leave it right there.
I'm taken with the area, so I'm just gonna walk around, have a little look-see.
Okay.
Flowers are actually, at the moment, not a priority.
As you walk about, you notice that amongst the patches of flowers, which range from simple, like little poppies, to these almost extravagant lotuses. And each of them, and even like in the darker corners of the room where these sun orbs kind of don't hang over, there's like little small luminescent mushrooms growing. And as you look, you can take notice of little stone markers written in different languages. They look to be almost like prayer stones, like somebody, like they were carved and like left in that place. And as you look amongst some of the base of the flowers, you can see what kind of looks like pottery. Kind of nestled into the dirt. As you continue to walk, you hear like little tapping along the stone. And around one of the corners from one of the side rooms, which, you're able to see, comes this probably about 2.5 foot little hooded creature almost. Black and white feathers, clawed hands holding what looks like an urn, black beak, and these stunning violet eyes. And before you was like this little crow person. Kind of looks at you too, looks back, and kind of just gives a curious look.
Good evening.
Oh. Hello.
Kind of looks to you too, and I can't get that deep in my voice. I can't. But mealy mimics, the two of you know. Good evening, hello.
It's Kenku.
And hearing its racist name, gives a quick nod, and kind of hops past you to one of the patches that you now notice is actually kind of cleared out. There's fresh dirt, and it kind of hunkers down and kind of quickly digs a little hole and settles this urn into the hole and takes off the top and starts filling the urn with the dirt. Just going about its business. Takes only a couple of minutes, but as it does, kind of steps back, seeming to be proud of itself, and kind of looks at you too. And ambition, as it speaks, you feel like you've heard this voice as it goes, welcome to the garden.
Now, am I going to be able to place this voice, or is it just this nagging feeling I have?
You want to. Especially with how you've been sleeping recently.
Right,
it seems familiar.
Oh, are you the gardener?
It kind of thinks and tilts its head. You may call me... And it stops. Like it's forgotten the word. It's kind of shoulders sink. You may call me Prophet.
Prophet it is.
It kind of puffs up its feathers at you repeating its name.
How tall is Prophet?
Like a good 2.5. It's tiny.
Ambition will bend over a bit and sort of allow his pendant to fall out. The pendant of a skull between two lips. Accidentally, of course.
Yeah,
Just
totally
looking for a reaction. One of the brief times he makes absolute eye contact.
The Prophet, as it's now been told, kind of
shiny just fell out.
Yeah, Kenku size going, oh my god, shiny, but duty. It squawks and goes, Prophet, and goes to reach for your pendant.
Honestly, I'll let it. It's just
its little claws just encircle it and hold it, and kind of if a bird could look sad, that's what this bird would look like. But Prophet looks up and goes, tilt its head.
Yeah.
And the voice is deeper, and it's a little bit more familiar. I can't be reading Twitch chat. And goes, oh shit, where's your notes, you dumbass?
And in this moment, Ambition gets such a headache.
Yeah. In this deeper voice, which resonates more with you, Prophet goes, death is an inevitable fate to all.
And all must pass through the veil sooner or later.
Hearing that back, there's a series of squawks and chirps that echo, and Prophet is thrilled, and like, you know, kind of lets go of your pendant and claps its hands, and looks expectantly.
I would not have guessed.
That's something familiar to Raoul at all?
If you want to make a hard religion check.
Oh.
It also depends on whether or not Ambition has shared any of this.
Just the vaguest things. Cleric, god,
Yeah.
brave, take care of the dead. Nothing so specific as this.
Alright.
Fuck! Okay,
Wow.
I was like, okay, you know what? I'll put it at 20. Got a 20.
Well,
Ambition's probably the only one you've probably seen. But you're a researcher. You love your books. You've
I also cheated and have a direct line to the Celestial.
This is true, but I wasn't counting that. You know that from reading and seeing this interaction and kind of piecing things together, the between the line that was just shared between Prophet and Ambition and the pendant, you kind of remember about a younger god, newer one, a god of death, named Revelry, who tends to the dead, essentially. But because they are a newer god, there's not much written. It's more of a word of mouth by those who have either been touched by death or been led by death for some reason or another. So there hasn't been a lot of hard written stuff, but between your reading and this interaction, you kind of go, oh, that's what that is.
Oh, the little demon worships a little god. How wonderful.
Raul, is you're talking to me or the bird?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right.
No, please.
So, after finding his new home away from home, Prophet,
Perks up.
do you have lilies here? Raul, what were they called? I wasn't right down the
well,
name.
Gets his book out, flips to the page. Literally.
Lilies.
Prophet's eyes kind of flicker, and in an even deeper tone, almost the same of when he started to recite the dogma. It's a deeper, almost angrier tone, and I can't do it right now. I have a voice in my head, and I know I can't do it.
That's fine.
Prophet looks angry for a second. Goes, those who serve pain do not find a home here.
Well, it's starting to sound like what I guessed.
And he, kind of straightens up, blinks a couple of times, but not. And being so short doesn't really reach your hand, but kind of grabs the edge of your pants or your cloak and kind of tugs you towards one of the side rooms.
I follow along.
Thank you.
And as you're walking, once again, I have your sheets open. Actually, shit. Hang on. Do you both have it? No, only Ambition has it. While the prayer stones that were set into the dirt in the different beds were different languages, this side room that Prophet is leading you, you notice that there is scrawlings on the wall. And you realize they're all in Celestial. And they're all names. And you recognize the names to be of different race origins. And it just... When you realize that this side room is almost as equally long as the main room, you realize that essentially from one side to... one end to another is just names. But Prophet leads you further down to the end, takes another little mini path to even a smaller, a small alcove, and you can see that seems to be their quarters. And Prophet goes and grabs what looks like almost like a cloth, hops back out, and seems to think about where they saw it. And slowly, instead of hopping, actually just walks over. And you can see near one of the sides, almost just right outside of their quarters, is the Lich Lily. 2 of them.
And we hadn't seen any others on our way here.
None.
It's a particularly rare plant, even where it's kept.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
And especially since everything else was so colorful and so vibrant, and you have this very stark black and white flower. And Prophet kind of seems to hesitate and kind of look back at you, Ambition.
I'll shake it off. Actually, did Ralph follow?
He was trailing behind a little bit to try to tell Vel not to do that kind of thing anymore.
I'm sure I'll actually shake off the Kenku and wave it to come back. No, something about this doesn't feel right. We'll head back to the room. Between what Prophet said and their reluctance to cut the flower and their delicate reminder. No, I don't like this. If Ral doesn't see it, as far as everyone knows, that flower isn't here. Yeah, no, if he doesn't see it.
Preoccupied. If he caught up with you, you're like, did they have it?
Not that we could find. Lots of flowers. Lots of flowers, but...
Behind you, Prophet has followed. Kind of looks around. And where the rooms are conjoined, it's kind of like in the middle of them. Heading to pretty much the opposite end of... It's kind of parallel to where the entrance is. Prophet hops off, kind of starts humming, or whistling, essentially. And you see him kind of start fussing around with a couple of other flowers. And still wrapped in, what do you call it? Still wrapped in the cloth he had. You know, hops back and brings it back. And instead of... It's still a lily of some sort. But you notice it's more in tune or more in line with the colors of the lily that's on the front of Emmin's shop, the Morning Singer. And he offers it up instead.
And I will give Prophet a little pat.
Kind of coos.
I have only known Prophet for a little while, but if anything happens to them, I will kill everyone responsible and then myself. But no, I'll take the flower and.
Thank you very much, Prophet.
Kind of looks and he goes, "Don't be sad." And hearing that voice, you realize he was mimicking Alex.
Do I remember what Alex had around his neck?
Give me a religion check!
Motherfucker.
I want you to get this. I do want you to get this.
Oh, we're relying on me rolling, though. I do what I can to not do
I
this.
know. Oh my god! Son of a bitch. You guys, like, I set DCs and you guys have been murdering them. Let me bring up my other... no, I don't need Anthem. I need Elks. Where is Elks? It was a silver triangle pendant pointed downwards, and the center of it was a twisting mist, like, image. Come on! Alex, where did you go, sweetie? Oh, there you are, because I have to go through everyone else's. Having that click in your head. Whoops, that's not what I needed. The symbol, you know, like I said, clicks in your head, and you realize it is the symbol for Lyra, the Lady of Deception. Now,
The Lady of what now?
Deception.
Son of a bitch, I'm getting rusty.
You know that she is a chaotic neutral goddess. She has a very small following. But they're not malicious. They're definitely into mischief and tricks. But nothing bad comes to mind.
Clever. Well, he didn't hurt nobody, so I'm not worried yet. But the next time we have a chat. Ooh, the next time we have a chat. At any rate, I'll hand Ral the flower and say it's not the lily we're looking for. Close, but morning. What was it called? It wasn't Morning Glory. It was Morning Singer.
Morning Singer.
Yeah.
Might work. I'll prepare it the same way and see if Emmin will take it. I'll tell him.
You're still hoping. Before we go, I will turn and give a wave to the to my unaware but new Kenku best friend.
They seem generally thrilled that they were able to help. But Prophet tilts its head and kind of looks at you, Ambition, and kind of makes a snoring noise at you.
Yeah. I know. At least that's what I said.
He's kind of telling you should probably get sleep. Or at least try to get more of it.
I got it.
Right, yeah, bags the size of Everest under his eyes. That's fair.
Pretty much. He gives a little bow, and as you leave, he goes, "Do not turn a blind ear."
Wouldn't be right if I did.
Satisfied with your answer, he goes back to, seeming to pop more of these urns.
Right. Well, let's go have a chat with Emmin. I'm certain he's not expecting us back this soon, but... Well,
All right.
Okay.
I could take care of him in his office.
Were you gonna prepare the flowers before you got there, or were you just gonna bring them as is?
Well, when the plan that I thought was to hand him over next morning, I was going to spend the night preparing.
we can still do that if that's more preferable to you.
That's all on you two. I mean, if you two...
Oh, that's in capital.
Sorry.
If you want to take care of that in the morning, that's fine. It's late anyway.
No, he always works late anyway, so we could go now.
All right.
Cool. So you make your way from the northern side of the Faith District down the way to the main market, and sun's kind of getting really low. You know, some of the side taverns are starting to open up. As you get to the main market, you can hear the we call it the Left-Handed Knight, which is the main tavern there, loud and bustling already.
Sounds like dinner. But afterwards.
As you look over to Emmin's place, there's no lights. The windows and doors the shades are pulled drawn.
But there doesn't look to be any light behind the...
No.
If the off chance Ral didn't notice, I'll point out.
That's odd. He usually stays open pretty late.
Yeah, maybe the hectic work finally caught up with him.
Maybe. Think we should check in? It was being odd earlier.
Yeah, we have time.
Okay. I'm gonna head up to a shop.
Okay. As you get to the door, you see that indeed there is no lights. And when you try for the door, it's locked completely.
I wish I had asked for something, but I couldn't actually justify having it.
Are there any windows?
The windows, the windows that are there, there's a very large window that lets you, if you're standing out in the street, think of like with the big bay windows, they would let you see directly where Emmin would be working his counter. The shades are pulled shut on that too.
I'm going to let intuition carry me back about 10 years. I'm going to sneak behind the building, if there is a way behind the building.
There is one other way into Emmonson's place, and you've never taken it. You've been told not to take it, because it takes you through his garden. The garden is connected through one of the back rooms of the hospital, the medic office. You've just been told, don't go through Emmons's garden.
When we tried the door and it was locked, did we also, assumedly, knock? Just to be sure?
You didn't knock. If you want to knock, go for it.
I'd feel more comfortable knocking first.
There's no answer. Even when you wait, a minute, two, there's still nothing.
And nothing sounds from the inside?
No.
All right, then I will go back 10 years and...
Yeah, you'll know that, they're, like I said, you've been told, hey, this is how Emmons gets to and from, instead of going all the way around to the front door. This is how Emmons gets into the medical office, into the hospital really quick, especially if there's an emergency, he has to, bring something over quickly. But you've been always told, don't go through his garden, because he prizes his garden up and down. But you do know that's the other way to get in.
Yep, well, I'm going to be very bad. I'm still going to do it.
Okay. Go in, and it's quieter. Whoever's minding the front area notices you two, gives a nod, doesn't say anything because you two work there. And goes about, whatever business they had to do that evening. You have to kind of recall where you've been told don't go because you've avoided it on purpose.
Sure.
But going through a storage room and another back hallway into another storage room, there's a door that is it's there, but there's no real window to it. You can see from like on the floor that the door has been used frequently because there's that that partial circle scratches on the floor. Both of you give me a perception check though.
Oh.
Oh wait, that's the wrong keyword. There we go.
Wait, I'm so confused. What happened? Oh, okay.
I hit there. Yeah.
My
Okay,
dyslexia
so
was
that's the
fucking
wrong
with me.
keyword.
Okay. As you get close to the store, there's a odd scent. It's not the usual clean medical scent that you're used to that's almost ingrained into your noses. There's this sweet, almost decay scent.
Does it smell like death? It smells like death.
Not death, especially since you were just that close to a freaking crawler, but there is definitely something not right.
This doesn't smell right. Like, actually, this doesn't smell right. And it's dark in here, yeah?
I would say that you guys, there's probably a couple of... Actually, no, that room, there wouldn't have been really any light. But I would have figured you guys would have, hit a candle or two along the way.
Mostly because I want to be able to look around, is why I asked that. So, what flowers are... I was going to leave them alone, but now I'm curious. What flowers are in here? Or what plants, I should ask.
Oh, in that room?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like,
There's nothing in that room. It's the storage room for medical stuff. The smell seems to be coming from the other side of the door. The door that you've been told don't go through. Because it leads to Emmin's garden.
Yeah. Well, I was a bit worried about going where he shouldn't, but after noticing that he's all in on this plan.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I probably should have clued you into what I was doing before. Last chance to back out.
No. I think something's going on. We should check it out.
And the mission reaches out, opens the door,
Clicks open.
and peers in.
As you open the
peers in.
as you open the door, it's weird. You've seen gardens in cities before. This is almost grossly vibrant about how almost pure the plants and the flowers that you see amongst you. You even see a couple of small trees. And as you step, do you step like into the garden to
Sure.
Yeah, so there's a stone path. There's a clear path that cuts through it. Off to your left, probably about 5-6 feet, is the door to Emmin's place, and it's open. To your right, and you finally get to see how far this garden extends. It extends almost about 40 feet backwards. As it's a weird gradient of greens and purples and reds of these plants, and as it gets further back, the colors become almost neon and almost unnatural. And looking over towards one of the back corners, you can see that seems to be a plant that's... Well, it's not a plant. It looks like a young tree almost. And it seems to be wilted. Like, amongst all this life, there's just this one that is just completely out of place. Kneeling near it, nearby it, you can see two figures. One seems to be wrapped in clothing. The other one, and it's pretty easy to make out. You can see that it's Emmin's robe, and you figure that it's Emmin standing there above this person. He has not noticed you. Whatever you guys are, whatever you've done, whatever noise you've made, he's engrossed in whatever he's doing.
No, I'm in a different mindset altogether now. I stand still and listen.
Listening, and it takes a second. You can hear Emmin's voice, but it's unsteady. It comes in hitches. You can actually see his back shiver and shake. The person, as Emmin's kind of shifts about to seem to be checking them over, they seem like they're not quite there, like they're almost partially unconscious. But they don't really say anything. They kind of give like weak nods or shakes of heads. But, Emmin's is definitely there, seeming to be trying to either take care of them or deal with them.
Couldn't hear anything.
Ra's gonna approach slowly and kind of reach out. Emmin?
He doesn't quite respond. And as you get closer, you kind of notice that the person that's kind of wrapped up, kind of bundled up, leaning against the wall near this tree, seems to be human, maybe half-elf, just because the slight angular face. It seems to be probably in his mid-20s, maybe a little bit later. Deep, dark brown hair, but along the edges, it almost looks like not quite dirt, but almost pearlescent, almost. That's the best way I can describe it. Green and purple along his hairline. And he's kind of pale. He's got a couple of scars across his face. And as I said, Emmin didn't even hear you call. But the guy on the ground kind of rolls his head a little bit and looks past Emmin to you.
Does any of this feel wrong? Like, more so than just a doctor treating someone out of the hospital, but like, does this feel like vaguely ritualistic?
No. You definitely get the sense that something is wrong. Like, this probably shouldn't be happening, but you're not sure why it's happening or who caused it.
Right.
But as the guy rolls his head over and he looks at you, Emmin follows his eye line and looks over his shoulder. And this morning, you saw Emmin's unsettled. Like, there was definitely something wrong. Emmin's eyes are puffy and red. And they're not quite the same color they were that you've known them to be. Forgive my scrolling. The blonde that usually is his hair, along his roots, purple has taken over even further, coming probably about down to the back of his neck. His eyes, which are usually green, are almost not neon green, but they're very bright. They're very light green, but they're bright. And as he looks over and he sees you two, he immediately puts himself between the guy and you two and swallows hard. and just looks between you two. You two should not be here.
No.
Backing up a bit, since he was closest, raising his hands.
We were worried you weren't in your usual place. You've been working so late, so diligently. And we got the items you requested. I mean, what's going on?
Looking between the two of you. And are you still in the doorway, or have you stepped in ambition?
Oh no, I am full on, shoulder on the door, arms crossed, looking like
Gotcha.
a younger man.
His eyes are just can't figure out which one to settle on. And he kind of takes a deep breath. At least close the door.
And I will. I won't make sure it's not locked, but I'm a tiefling. I can get out in a hurry.
With it closed, he reaches his hand out towards his door and makes a pulling motion, and his door closes, and his shoulders sink. And for somebody who is short-worded but smart and seems to tends to have an answer when he's asked, Emmin doesn't seem to have words. And he looks down by his leg where the guy is, and he looks back. A lot has gone wrong, and I fear the worst.
Uh-huh. Do tell.
He kind of, not winces, but he seems to be thinking inwardly. And then he laughs. It's very short, very dry, and almost defeated. All this time, I've been here. I've never had anyone find this out. And he kind of motions to himself. He still looks very elven, but he has, like I said, the purple hair and the eyes, and he's pale, but he almost seems not paler, but it's almost the same pearlescent almost.
Don't worry about that. We can fix you up. It's what we're here for.
He shakes his head.
Yeah.
It's not me. And he kind of motions to the tree. And a couple of the leaves that remain, it's this dead green and brown edges.
Am I gonna get fucked by a dryad?
No, stop. You can either roll an Arcana or a Nature, whatever floats your goat.
Looking around the garden, is there like another tree similar to that one?
No, this is one of a kind. Holy shit. You guys are killing me. Remember when I said you guys were murdering those
Look,
pieces?
Yeah, no, this is...
The good gods giveth and the good gods taketh away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a tree you're really used to, and you definitely haven't seen a tree like this, but you have no idea where this tree would be from. And Emmons makes a motion back to the tree.
What about it? You're a little outside of my wheelhouse.
Kind of raises an eyebrow. It seems my sister may have passed.
I look down at the ground where the other thing is that looks vaguely human. Does it look dead?
Her?
Oh no, he's alive. His eyes are open.
Oh.
Oh shit, I didn't bring up those notes. His eyes also have a faint glow to them. They're nowhere as bright as Emmin's. His glow almost overtakes his whole eye.
So I immediately recognize the thing on the ground as a male.
Yes. You can see that it like I said, it appears to either be probably like a half-elf guy. He's a bit bulkier than what you would expect from a half-elf. But he's alive. You know, like I said, he's wrapped in what seems to be a large blanket. You know, breathing. He's definitely taking in the situation.
Right, Emmin. Truthfully, I am sorry to hear this. I know something of losing a loved one. What does that have to do with this, though? This is strange.
He snorts at the comment. Well, if he is here, then that means my sister has fallen.
Fallen now?
And he closes his eyes and his brow furrows. And as he opens his eyes, the glow's kind of faded back. He was supposed to be watching her. But if he is here, and that, and he points to the wilted tree, is as it is, then she is gone.
Did he have anything to say about it? He just showed up?
Emmin's, like, kind of wavers his head. It's hard to explain. But he would never leave her.
The husband, then.
This laugh that comes out isn't hollow, it's more surprised and almost humorous. And he goes no. Her guardian.
You're not royalty or anything, are you?
He, like, pulls his head back.
Full of wrong guesses here. Clarify this for me.
Even if I lived for another 500 years, I would not be.
So, those things you had us get, we got them. Would
He
they be able to help?
He perks up. It is for an order. I won't lie. It's not pretty what that concoction will do. But
Not giving me a whole lot of reason to give this to you.
as you say that, his lip kind of curls, like he's about to, it looks like he's going to snarl at you. And he definitely seems frustrated. There is a man here who has tried a very long time to get rid of me and many others in this city. And unfortunately, some have taken a liking to him. He is no man, not with the actions he has taken. I was to make the concoction, the potion, so someone could deliver it to its appropriate target.
Yeah. Still not gonna give this to you. And
This
I
time-
reach for my collar.
There's a full-on growl for him, and he actually raises his voice. I understand that this might be a little beyond your scope, but I do not have much time to prepare it, and it takes a couple of days to brew.
And only a couple of minutes to explain.
That's right.
I'm
Emmin's-
not comfortable with making a poison designed to kill someone. You want this. Either I get a reason, or you go through me.
DM no fuck. Hang on. Oh, Emmin's, you dumbass. Okay. The tension that was in his shoulders seems to almost double.
Oh god, he's gonna go through me.
And as he opens his mouth, the man on the ground reaches out and puts a hand on Emmin's leg and gives him a very weak tug. And and as he's reached for for Emmin's leg, the blanket's kind of fallen off, and you can see that there's a couple of wounds on his chest. And it fully exposes him, kind of like navel up, pretty much. And you can see there's two predominant wounds. They kind of look like they've been a little healed over, but there's a very round wound right below his right collarbone, and there's another one right along his side. And they're, like I said, they're like, it looks either like he was stabbed or shot. But he looks up at Emmons and just shakes his head.
Are they responsible for that? And that?
That we
Listen
can
for the tree.
cure.
Emmons shakes his head. And he runs his hand over his forehead and over his hair, and as he runs his hand down his hair, the purple kind of slowly subsides, and that kind of shimmer to his skin slowly dissipates, and his eyes start to return to the darker green. No, but I presume whoever took my sister from this plane did that to him.
We can fix him. Just gonna need you to stop being so fucking creepy.
There's a very dry cough of a laugh from the guy on the ground. And he gives Emmons' leg another tug. And Emmons kind of drops his head and steps to the side.
No offense, Raul, but you're closer. You wanna handle this one?
Yeah.
You're there in the bear trap. You go deal with it.
I won't lie. This is the old ambition coming out. This is
No, I'm enjoying this very much.
So, I guess worth pointing out that up until now, Ambition has only ever seen Rob deal with, like, the potions end of things, herbalism stuff, like administering more medical treatment side, or like extended care, rather than any magical healing.
If that's the case, then Ambition will offer to do it himself then. Because at this point, I just think you're a blaster with a decent mind for potion making.
And a little asshole who sits on his shoulder.
Yeah, I try not to think about that one. But yeah, no, if I don't know that, I will scooch forward unless Ral stops me to go see to it.
Yeah, Val kind of shifts over. And lets Ambition go forward.
As Ambition passes Val, he will say...
What Val has been doing as well. She had been doing the invisibility thing, and Val would have tried to get her over to inspect them closer up without their realizing if they're able to see through invisibility. But I didn't really want to break up or
Oh, that's fine. That would just go before me then.
Interject.
You would have probably noticed Emmin's kept looking not at either of you two, but at something else. And you could have guessed that he may be able to see your imp.
So I was trying to get a closer look and figure out what they are. It's just immediately blown. Okay.
Right, as Ambition slides past Ral, I'm going to be a little exposed here. If you could just make sure I don't end up with a dagger in my back, that'd be grand.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, bud.
Sorry.
Got his catalyst and dagger ready.
And I'm going to go move towards the downed person and once again remove that charm with the lips cupping a skull. Give it a kiss and let the magic go to work with a good old cure wounds.
Okay.
Would you like me to actually make a roll or just count it against my
just
spells?
count it against.
Okay.
Is Cure Wounds touch or is it range?
It's touch.
Okay.
This is an healing word. This is cure wounds.
Yeah. I'm always, like, I don't play a healer, so I'm just like...
No,
oh,
I definitely get it.
Okay. So as you kneel down and Emmin is...
Oh, my eyes are on him.
Yeah.
If this guy pulls a dagger on me, I'm fucked. If the guy I'm healing goes to kill me, I'm in a bad way.
I don't think it's the daggers you need to worry about. As you can tell, as far as you can tell, Emmons has no weapons on him.
No, but he has shown magic, so fair play.
So as you lean down and you place your hand on this guy's shoulder, and as your magic starts to kind of coalesce around your hand and sink into his body, starting to close the wounds, your hand starts to feel warm. And as you look down, and as the spell's going, this twist of purple and orange starts to kind of counterwork back up your arm. But it doesn't go any higher than your elbow. It just kind of sits there. Doesn't seem to do anything to you. It just lingers.
Nope. Freezes up. I'm not doing anything else. This is weird. This is not how this usually works.
But do you finish the spell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just not going to move towards or away. I'm going to make sure I don't break the spell.
Okay. As the wounds close and you kind of see the color in the guy's face kind of return a bit more, and he takes a deep breath. And as he starts to speak, it's a language you don't get. Don't know what it is. And then he kind of catches himself and clears his throat, and his voice is dry and tired, but it's deep and rumbly. It's almost soothing. And he sighs. I do appreciate you helping both of us.
Uh-huh.
Gives you a curious look at your response.
Oh, it is mutual.
He laughs a little bit. He puts his hands down to shift himself a little bit straighter up against the wall. Kind of trying to be a little bit modest, but he doesn't seem to be preoccupied by it. Seeing that he's sitting up a bit more, Emmin takes the other side of the guy and kind of puts his hands on him and on his shoulder, on his cheeks, just looking him over. And he starts to, Emmin starts to speak whatever language the guy was starting to speak. And there's an exchange back and forth.
I look back to Ral in hopes that he can figure this out, because I can't.
What does Ral speak? No, Ral doesn't speak it, but...
Also, does my hand feel funny?
It's warm, but when the spell fades, that purple and orange that twisted up your arm recedes and, dissipates as your spell ends.
Oh, thank goodness.
Ral, you think it sounds familiar? You're like, oh, it's Elvish. No.
Wait, no.
It sounds like what is that? You think it sounds like Elvish, but it's like it's not quite Elvish. Emmin's after this exchange sighs and rests his head against the guy's forehead, taking a moment, and he kind of sits back and he looks over at you, Ambition. Thank you. I do mean it.
No, it's quite literally what I'm here for. And at this point, Ambition is sunken back into cleric ambition.
The guy kind of starts to shift and kind of starts to stand up. And Emmin kind of scoops an arm underneath him and helps him up. Kind of keeps the blanket around him, And Emmin turning to both of you. If there's one thing I do ask of you, it is to please give me the ingredients.
Knowing full well he doesn't have the poison ingredient. Well, not the literal poison. We have the literal poison.
Mm-hmm.
The other bit, Ambition will part with the crawler mucus and the iron, because Rawl has the flower.
Mm-hmm. And, we call it. Emmin will look between the two. And kind of look back.
Raul pull out the flower.
He looks at the flower, but that doesn't... And his eyes kind of go wide. And he goes, This this is a much better plan. How... And he kind of seems taken aback, like, fuck, I should have thought of this. Why did you bring me this one?
Couldn't find the other one.
Now, it seems, a gardener who has quite the variety of flowers didn't have the other, but suggested this one.
We made use of it. It was our only option at the time.
Thinks for a moment. Well, truth be told, I wasn't sure if you'd be able to find the flower in question. But this provides... This is a solution. Not as violent of one I would have preferred, but it's a solution.
Definitely preferring what I'm hearing now to what I was hearing a minute ago.
Emmin
Who
seems...
is the person this is for, anyway?
As Emmin speaks, it looks like he keeps biting his tongue as he says it. And after a moment, the guy who's been watching all this puts a hands on Emmin's shoulder and kind of gives him a tug. And Emmin finally speaks. He is a servant of one who would see the city fall.
Oh, he didn't. You mentioned your sister.
He turns and kind of clears some of the flowers that are around the base of the wilted tree, and you can see around what should be healthy bark, because it has the, like, it looks like it should be structurally, like, you know, sound. As Emmons puts his hands on it, the bark just sheds off, and there's this purple and black, almost... It looks as if you had cut somebody open. It looks like muscle and tissue underneath.
I have so many questions.
I can't say it was he who did it. But I would not put it past a conspirator of his.
Is there a way to heal that?
Emmin shakes his head. And he had started to regain that usual stone face, but when you say that, it falls. And he goes, once it is gone, this is only part of it. If this is dead, then the real one is dead as well.
I'm sorry.
Why don't we let him get to his business? It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Clearing his throat, the half elf, and you like I said, you can generally guess that he's a half elf because you can kind of see the ears kind of poking out, the hair. He speaks. I'm sure Em would tell you to keep this to yourselves. But you two seem to be the kind who would.
Oh, you have nothing to worry about from me.
Yep, no, I'm thinking I'm gonna keep this to myself, but, Raul,
Yeah?
what about the professor?
She doesn't really like talking to anyone else.
Yeah, no,
Only
that's fair
people
enough.
around me.
Tell you what, I'm gonna forget most of what happened. I'm hungry. I need some sleep. I'm gonna go somewhere else. What you do now is on you.
Emmin gives a nod. Keep, keep whatever money you didn't spend today. I'll have more for you in the morning.
Right.
Thank you.
And I walk away.
And I will follow.
Excuse me?
Following you out?
No, I got kicked out of the game.
Oh, I just noticed that. I was like,
Oh.
where did he go?
No, it's fine, back. Well, we've had a hell of a day. I'm hungry. And we have gold to count. Well, funds to count. Let's go to the knight.
Okay. Sounds good after all this.
How do you two leave?
Presumably the way we came in?
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe less aggressively and angry?
Okay, so you make your way back, back through the the medical wards and whatnot. As you start to leave, the person at the front desk goes, "Oh, boys, good, you're here. Nim wanted you to stop by in the morning. Said that she probably had some extra gold for you. I don't know. Messenger said it was some sort of job.
Oh, all right, Bill.
I would
Yeah.
I would just go see what she wants. And she kind of quickly looks through the papers. If you end up taking it, I think we'll do just fine without you. So.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the heads up.
Gives a nod and, goes back to her paperwork. Exit the medical ward and head over to the left-handed knight. Fall in with the live, the music and the food and the drink if that's what you're into. And you wind your night down. Oh shit, I don't remember if it was supposed to be this morning or the next morning. For the second part of what I gave you.
Am I missing something that I have?
It's what we discussed. Ugh, God damn it.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember if I told you it happened this morning or the next morning.
No, I didn't get any time on it.
Okay, night's uneventful, or however eventful that you want to make it. And you end up, making it back to your apartments, your rooms, whichever. And as you start to fall asleep in vision, excuse me, you hear just as that, like, that weird, like, in between, you hear Prophet's voice repeat himself. Do not turn a blind ear.
I'm gonna have to go figure out what that is.
And I think, unless there's something Raul wanted to do after
Oh,
partying.
not today.
Okay. I do believe that is the end of the session then.
Nice.
Yes. Nice.
Thank you for having us. That was excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh god, you guys threw me a few more curveballs than the other two. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, crits will do that.
Shit. I'm like,
I
oh
told
god.
you. Remember, my first two rolls when you tested us, or whatever it was an 18 and a 20.
Yeah.
And then today it was a 2 and a 3.
Yep. Fucking. I've been having to
That's,
pull out. I've been
That's
having
my rolls.
Cause like I'll have like the session notes, but then like between freaking Leak and Shell and you two, I've had to go into the main campaign notes for shit. And I'm like, fuck! This wasn't supposed to happen yet!
Nosiness.
But this has been...
Working with a, well, I shouldn't say.
But yes, this has been so much fun. I didn't break anything! I didn't break anything this time, which made me very happy. So I appreciate you two rolling through this. I don't think it was too painful.
No, it was great.
No, it
That was
wasn't
great,
painful
yeah.
because no one got hit.
Never got so much as a scratch on me.
So mad. And then
I just stank to high heaven.
and then Flo got critted last session. So
Yeah, it was ugly.
I was just like, oh.
For a moment,
hell.
everyone got through, so that's a plus.
Yeah. So.
Mm.
Yeah. So gonna wrap it up here. Thank you two for this. It will pick up morning of the actual session 1. You have your essentially orders, but you also have your thoughts about where you might want to go next.
Sure.
Thank you, you frickin' maniacs in chat, harassing the DM. That's always smart. But I appreciate it, and I really do. I really, really do. Now you have a little bit more info, a little bit more metadata to roll with. And yeah, so thank you all for joining me on this foray into holy shit, what am I doing? This has been GM the DM, and good night!